16. Harmless, foods you didn't know were poisonous. Do you think those sweet vegetables, cute fruits only have good things in store for you? Ha! Wrong thought. Allergy sufferers already knew that strawberries or nuts are not as harmless as they look. After viewing this video, you will never look at these foods in the same way again. 1. Cherries, with cyanide. Okay, not the cherry itself, but the seeds. They contain cyanide, and 2 broken cherry stones are enough for death. The same goes for plums, apricots, nectarines, and peaches, although you are slightly less likely to swallow those seeds accidentally. Symptoms of mild poisoning are headache, dizziness, confusion, shortness of breath, and vomiting. 2. Apples and pears, also with cyanide. Apple and pear seeds also contain cyanide, but in a much smaller dose. Swallowing them is harmless. Only those who chew them and swallow a high dose of these chewed seeds can die. Rest assured, though, that someone weighing 70 kilos has to eat 100 grams of kernels before becoming too toxic. 3. Rhubarb with oxalic acid. The branches are edible, but the leaves are not. They contain oxalic acid, a substance found in bleach and anti-rust agents. Eating the leaves causes a burning sensation in the mouth and throat and leads to nausea, vomiting, convulsions, and even death. The good news is that you have to eat a lot of it before the symptoms appear. A woman weighing 60 kilos needs to eat 4.5 kilos of food for the symptoms of poisoning. Other plants that contain oxalic acid: parsley, spinach, chocolate, nuts, berries, and beets. Its dose is far from the lethal dose. 4. Star fruit, with Caromboxin. Kidney patients should avoid star fruit or carambola because of the substance Caromboxin. It leads to symptoms ranging from hiccups, nausea, confusion, and in some cases, death. The fruit also contains oxalic acid, but it is not responsible for the symptoms. For those who take statins, a medication used for cardiovascular disease, the fruit can enhance the medication's effects. Just like grapes, by the way. 5. Potatoes, with solanine. Green potatoes or potatoes with shoots contain solanine, a natural pesticide that is toxic to humans. Symptoms are vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes heart failure. Again, you have to eat a lot of it before you get poisoned. At least half a kilo of completely green, unpeeled potatoes in one go. You avoid green potatoes by keeping them in the dark, dry place. Solanine poisoning is best avoided by peeling potatoes, boiling rather than frying or deep frying, and discarding the cooking liquid. Raw potatoes are also best avoided. It will not kill you, but the undigested starch can cause severe stomach cramps and diarrhea. The berries of the potato plant are really a no-no. And the green parts of bell pepper and tomato are also better avoided. 6. Rice, with arsenic. Certain rice varieties, especially those from Texas, contain arsenic, which acts on the digestive system. Regular exposure to small amounts can cause something similar to inflammation of the stomach and intestines, vomiting and abdominal pain, heart disease, and even bladder cancer. Large amounts destroy the digestive system, resulting in death. Brown rice contains the most significant quantities, instant rice the smallest. Eating yourself to death on rice is, thankfully, just about impossible. Unless you take in 360 kilos in one sitting, there is no need to panic. 7. Cassava, with cyanide. Uncooked cassava or cassava also contains cyanide. The more bitter the variety, the more cyanide it contains. It is, therefore, best to cook all types before consumption. 8. Brazil nuts, or Brazil nuts, with radium. These nuts are radioactive. They contain 1,000 times more radium than any other food. Fortunately, the dose is still too low to cause harm, and lower than the dose of radiation to which we are exposed daily. Brazil nuts also contain selenium, a healthy substance that can lead to selenium poisoning in high doses. Adults only need about 50 micrograms per day. Eating 6 to 8 nuts means that you will consume 10 times as much, 544 micrograms. Regularly ingesting more than 400 micrograms of selenium would be harmful. But it is not known how regularly. Selenium is also found in other nutrients, such as fish, meat, dairy, and grain products. 9. Tomatoes, with tomatine. As with the rhubarb, it is mainly the plant, the stem and the leaves, that is poisonous. Cooking them in tomato dishes can do wonders for the taste. But you should always remove them before eating. Unripe tomatoes are also slightly toxic because they also contain tomatine, a glycoalkaloid found in all plants of the nightshade family. 10. Almonds, with cyanide. There is the cyanide again. Bitter almonds, in particular, contain quite a bit of the stuff, and have to be processed, e.g., roasted, before they are suitable for consumption. In some countries, the sale of bitter almonds is prohibited, depending on the size of the nut and the weight of the person eating them. 8 to 32 bitter almonds are enough to get the lethal dose of cyanide. However, we mainly consume sweet almonds. 11. Red beans, with phytohemaglutinin. The main ingredient in chili con carne is super toxic if not soaked and cooked for 10 to 30 minutes. Slow cooking, however, increases the beans' toxicity. Raw red beans can cause extreme nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps thanks to the compound phytohemaglutinin, a natural insecticide in the plant. 12. Lima beans, with cyanide. Lima beans, also known as butter beans but not to be confused with, are, butter beans, namely white princess beans, are poisonous when uncooked. These also contain cyanide. In the States, the cyanide content is regulated by law, but not so in developing countries. Never eat them raw and throw away the cooking water. 13. Nutmeg, with myrostychine. From consuming 5 grams of nutmeg, the following symptoms may occur: dizziness, nausea, abdominal pain, vomiting, and even disturbances in consciousness. Besides, overuse can also cause hallucinations. And the substance myrostychine, a hallucinogen, is known to be dangerous in high records. Nutmeg can be used as a recreational drug, but due to the length of the effect, 24 to 48 hours, and the many side effects, including panic attacks, palpitations, constipation, and urination problems, it has never gained popularity. 14. Fugu with tetradoxin. Don't just eat fugu or pufferfish. Since the episode of The Simpsons, we all know that the fish can be highly poisonous if not prepared properly. The fish contains tetradoxin, a poison that is 1,200 times stronger than cyanide, which is already enough in this list. The poison in one fish can kill 30 adults. If you eat it, you should look for a chef with a certificate and his Visa card, because it also comes with a hefty price tag. Yet it is not without risk. Between 2000 and 2009, 338 cases of fugu poisoning were counted in Japan, 23 of which were fatal. 15. Elderberry, with hydrocyanic acid glycoside. Elderberries and Genever are not the problem, not ripe and or cooked anyway, but the plant is. The flowers are still edible, but roots and other plant parts, stems, leaves, and branches, must be handled carefully. They can cause severe stomach upset due to the cyanide-generating glucosides. They increase the cyanide level in the body and cause it to build up deadly in the body. The beans, actually seeds, from which castor oil is made are highly deadly. 1 is enough to kill a child, 4 for an adult. Although some sources claim that the bean must be broken before the poison can be released. Ducks are more resistant to the poison. They can eat up to 80, while an ox is felled after 6. Wonder beans contain the substance ricin, which causes the cells to die. The effect is first noticeable on the digestive system, resulting in dehydration from severe vomiting and diarrhea, and organ failure. But it attacks all cells. Death is caused by general organ failure, and usually follows between 36 and 72 hours. The substance is most deadly by inhalation. After a few hours, you get breathing problems, and the lungs fill with fluid and injection. When taken orally, it takes longer. It is so powerful that it is considered an essential chemical weapon. The people who harvest the beans must follow strict safety precautions to avoid fatal accidents. Although this does not fully protect them, they often suffer from terrible side effects, including stomach cramps, vomiting, diarrhea, blood in the urine, seizures, and delirium. 16. Mushrooms, with Alpha Amin. It seems like a no-brainer, but every year people die from mushroom poisoning in developed countries. This is because the edible and poisonous species are difficult to tell apart. The Amanita phalloides, more popularly known as the death cap, is one of the most deadly and poisonous basidiomycete fungus known. The vast majority of mushroom poisoning and acts in the liver via the mycotoxin alpha aminidin. 15% die within 10 days. The others never fully recover. The reason for the poisoning may be that the mushroom is somewhat like the common mushroom, except for a greenish color, and is therefore confused with it. If you like this video, subscribe below, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when we release new videos.